look like shit. Sad. Like, what's going on? I was the chosen one, here to lead the 144,000 during the tribulation. And Jesus, he ghosted me. Oh dear, that's not good. I mean, I just don't get what went wrong. I killed the zombies. I attempted to get the life insurance money. What more did he want from me? You know, there's a new series of books that I think could really help you in this predicament. I don't read books unless they're written by Chad Daybell, but what is it? It's called Don't Get Ghosted by Jesus, and it was written for assholes just like you. Presenting Don't Get Ghosted by Jesus, a book series just for you. Warning, this material may be offensive to people who like to get offended. Don't Get Ghosted by Jesus Book 1 covers Don't Be a Gullible Asshole. Book 2 covers Don't Kill Anyone. Book 3 covers The Only Zombie Is You. Book 4 gives you a calendar so you don't fuck up those dates ever again. And Book 5 covers You Ain't That Special, Sister. You Were Never the Chosen One. And as a bonus, Book 6 covers How Many Chins Does Chad Have? As well as Take That Cross Off Your Neck. Jesus doesn't want to see that. Do you think JFK wants to come back and see a bunch of AK-47s around people's necks? But that's not all. If you act today, you also get Don't Be Such a Whore. Don't hesitate. Get your book series Don't Get Ghosted by Jesus today. All right, so let's get started with Nick's birth numbers. Okay, so Nick he's born the same day as me, October 16th. His life lesson is a 52-7, which is your Queen of Swords energy. Now his soul number is a 30, which breaks down to a 3. That is your Four of Wands energy, you know, happy home, family, all of that. He expressed as a 59, which is kind of interesting. 59 is your Five of Swords. And I'm going to say this energy would make him more trusting. This one wouldn't. Okay, not at all. So when we add all of those together, his soul and his outer personality, we come up with an 89, which then equals a 17 of the star. Now, 89 breaks down to an 8. Most 8s are here on a karmic mission. So if it was his destiny to either bring light to something, to create a certain amount of comfort, material things, as well as leading by example and learning from his mistakes. But typically anybody who has an 8 primary number, it's not super easy. So he's born on the 16th, which makes him somewhat untrusting anyway. And then that 52 life lesson is also where your trust is going to be challenged. You're going to meet with people who don't always have your best interest at heart. They have to learn to trust themselves and to trust others. So that's what we're dealing with Nick's personality. So we've got 7 life lesson, a 3 soul, a 5 outer personality, and an 8 path of destiny. Okay, so that being said, now let's move on to David. Okay, now let's get into David Sweetman. He is a 33-6 life lesson right here. Now, who else have we seen with the 33-6? That is Letitia Stout, Shanann Watts. People that tend to run, they're more driven by their emotions and how things look. Okay, so it's a difficult number because it's a master number 33, which means double expression and sensitivity, double perfectionism, double feeling like the world is falling short of your expectations. So his soul number is a 36-9, your 10 of Wands energy. 36-9 feels like the weight of the world is on their shoulders. They carry a lot of extra weight on them as far as emotional issues or anything that hasn't been dealt with. So, and then he expresses as a 47-11. Okay, so this is your idea man. This is your person that you know, they've got their mind going in this direction, this direction, this direction all at the same time, and then trying to bring it in to a balance and actually make it something happen in the real world. You know, that's, I'm a 47 life lesson. So if this for me is like, I can go from this to this to this to this, and you have to commit yourself in order to make things happen. So they're better idea people than actual doers until they commit. Now, when you combine those two together, you get an 83. Okay, well, the 38 is the Queen of Cups. So I always think the 83 is right around here, which then breaks down to 11 of Justice. Okay, so that is David in a nutshell. Now we're going to go back and look at David's deceased wife, Laura Lisa, and take a look at her. Now Laura, okay, so Laura Lisa Williams, which was the way that she was born, is a 30 life lesson. This is the same as Nick Cordova's soul number, a 30, okay? Her outer personality is a 32-5, which means she's going to go after what she wants and be victorious with it. Her path of destiny is a 66, which is your Queen of Pentacles. So 66, master number, you've got double perfection, vision, needing to do things a certain way, and then that creativity. And from what I've heard, she was a very loved pediatric, I believe, neurologist. And she mysteriously died in 2013. So that is Laura. Now let's look at Alicia. Alicia is a 63-9 life lesson. Okay, this is my path of destiny, 63-9. You can see that the challenge here is to not worry about things you can't change. It's to learn through your experiences. But there's a lot of worry that gets tacked on to a 63-9. Okay, they're going through all of the heaviness of the 36-9, which is your 10 of Wands energy, trying to shift the burden off, so it leads to a lot of overthinking. Now, her soul number is a 37-1. Now, a 37-1, they're not great at showing their emotions. So, and they also tend to be misunderstood for that, because people don't know where they stand with them. They don't know, because she probably is not going to be one to share her personal private thoughts with people. Very guarded. That's just one of the more guarded numbers, okay? Her outer personality is a 31-4, okay? So this is somebody who's creative, they're feisty, they're competitive, not afraid to speak up for themselves, and which is kind of funny because it flies in the face of this one here. But this is more when challenged, and this one here is more in life and love, okay? Which then creates a 68, which is your Page of Pentacles. It's usually messages about money, messengers, creating a strong financial base with vision, and that 8 with the 6 with the vision, and then the 8 with the success, and then this 5, which is going to create more freedom. So that's her. Okay, so let's go back in time. Let's go back to 2013. Now, 2013 in December was the year when Laura mysteriously drowned in the bathtub. So if I look at her personal year, she was in a 27-9. Now, yes, that 9 can mean that it's an ending year. Can be, it doesn't have to be, but sometimes we'll see people exit under a 27. The other thing, though, that you see is that it's the fatal attraction number. So Jodi Arias is a 27 soul. There's people that were murdered by their spouses and they are in a 27. They have a prominent 27. So basically it's someone who wants to end things and start something new, but it's also, so it's an ending and a beginning at the same time. This is a really unique 9 energy right here. But because you've got a 7, which is your trust, openness, betrayal, working with a 2 of relationship, giving and taking, when one person is pulling away and the other partner's feeling left out in the cold, it creates this imbalance, which then turns into this kind of fatal attraction vibration. So you can attract somebody who's that type of person, like a mentally imbalanced person, such as, borderline personality, things like that. People that fear rejection, fear endings. Okay. Now, in the month of December, she was in a 39. This is your Knight of Cups energy, somebody offering her a cup of love, a cup of something, okay? Then on the day, she goes into a 48. So she moved on. Now let's go back and look at David. David was in a 31-4 personal year. That means that he's competing, he's fighting with somebody about something, doing battle about something, okay? And I want you to remember this, his birth or his month, personal month is a 43-7. Okay, and remember that 43-7 personal month that Laura died. And then on her death date, he was in Queen of Swords, 52-7. Now, you know what I say about Queen of Swords? They are divorcees, widows. You can make somebody a widow under that number. You can become one yourself. So that's kind of an interesting number there, the way that all worked out. So let's combine David and Lisa's numerology. Okay, so their life lessons create a 63. Okay, there's your 63. Worrying, a lot of stress. I see a lot of stress going on here. 9 relationships are really interesting because you typically have to agree to disagree on everything because you don't see things eye to eye. So it can make for a difficult thing. Their souls create a 70. Trying to keep the balance even though there's really no trust because that's a 7. Robbing from Peter to pay Paul. Trying to keep things in balance so you're juggling. It's not a fun number. It's a stressful number, okay? 2 people involved. There's what's going on. Now, their outer personality created a 79, which is a 16 Tower. So I'm going to say that this couple was knocked off their foundation numerous times because that is a shock. It's just a lot of things that have to be rebuilt, restructured, and that's the way that they communicated with each other. And then their path of destiny created a 149, which breaks down to a 14-5. Now, this one here, I've always said this, whenever I see this card, I see alchemy, things being put together and offered. For me, it's chemical. To me, it's very chemical. Other people say it's about balance and this and that, but I see chemical. So yeah, trying to maintain the balance in that is interesting because you've got one person that's being completely ruled by their ego, the other person who needs a solid structure and foundation in their life, which creates this 5 of this freedom, this needing to be free. Don't tell me what to do. And it can be an interesting relationship because the only way that a 5 relationship can work is if you agree to go do what you're going to do and agree to go do what you're going to do. And when we decide to be together, we're going to be together. But because there's so much 7 and 9 energy in there, I'm going to say this wasn't the happiest relationship at the time. So let's get down to the year 2020. We've got Nick in a 4711, which is Dave's outer personality. His month is a 52-7, which is also his life lesson. So whenever you're in your life lesson, big things happen, okay? Now, once again, we've got Queen of Swords. This is somebody who's either a widow or being made a widow, or somebody is being made a widow. Does this make sense? And then on the day of the 27th, we have the Tower, a 79, which breaks down to a 16. Now, on that particular time, 2020, Dave is in a 3811, Queen of Cups. Now, his path of destiny is this, okay, 83. His personal day or month, and remember this, 43-7. Now, when did we see that? We saw that the same month that his wife died. He was in a 43-7 personal month. Then on the day, it was a 70. Balancing, robbing from Peter to pay Paul. Trying to keep everything in financial balance, juggling act. Okay, so that's what's happening there. Okay, so let's just pop in on Alicia real quick. Now remember, Alicia is a 63-9. life lesson, okay? And when you have a 9 life lesson, you're going to say goodbye to a lot of people. Just like if you have a 9 path of destiny, you're going to say goodbye to a lot of people. Now, this year, she's in a 62-8, and that's feeling trapped, unable to move. There's some tension there, but not seeing her way out, okay? Then for the month, but then next, as of December, she'll be in her life lesson, which can be a huge year for her. I mean, this is already the precursor to the huge year that she's got coming up. Now in the month, she's in Knight of Pentacles energy, which this is slow moving towards financial security. It's more moving slow, it's more structured. That's what's happening. Then on the day, she's in a 94. So I say that would be the reverse 49, which then equals a 13-4, which is death. So that's death of a situation, transformation, nothing's going to be the same again. So that pretty much makes sense there. Okay, so let's get to the day combination. We have combined between Nick and Dave, we have an 85. This to me means that something came up that refuses to rest. Something wants to be put to rest, but it's not being put to rest, which then creates 13-4, death card. On the month, they're in a 95. This to me is reverse 5 of Swords energy. It's a 95, which equals a 14-5 again, of Temperance. But somebody, I feel like somebody found out something, and there's this sneak attack kind of happening there. Then on the day, they go into a 149. Again, Temperance. So we've been seeing this. There's these repetitive numbers that are coming in, and that to me is having to balance a situation that's out of balance. So there's a lot of treacherous numbers that are really surrounding these people, and it's disturbing. Now, am I accusing? No, I'm not accusing, but these are the powers that were at play. So I don't know who owed money to who. I don't know who was doing something nefarious that somebody else found out about. And I don't know who the intended target was. However, we do have one person dead and another person is saying, oh, I think I might have got knocked out. No, you either know that you got knocked out or you don't. So, there's just a lot to uncover. Now, let me tell you about Alicia. Alicia's goal, when I combine her with all of these numbers, I get combined numbers of 110, 101, 110, 146, 164. They all break down to 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, which is justice. It is going to be Alicia's job to bring justice to this situation. And it's all there in the numbers. It's all about justice. Now, if you look at people's rap sheets, there's one person that I wrote up their rap sheet, and because Phoenix PD seems to love this person, and it took up an entire page of legal size, which I must have left at work because I don't have it. There's a lot to unpack there. There's a lot of different businesses happening here. There was a trust that was used to buy some property. Yeah, so it's kind of weird, right? It'll be interesting to see what comes of it. But there's definitely, I'm hoping there's more beneath the surface from Gilbert PD this time. Hopefully much better than last time we dealt with them. And we'll get to the bottom of this. It's very sad the way all of that came down. And because the thing is that I don't see sometimes I'll see like really bad karmic ties between people, but I'm not seeing that here. It's almost like one person was governed by their emotions where the other person was governed by structure and financial responsibility. So, yikes. All right, guys, that's what I got. Let me know what you think.